Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt-out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today I'm talking about planning or presence, and I have just had a beautiful weekend, particularly the Sunday. I've just had a lovely Sunday where there was nothing really planned. Now, for you, that might sound perfectly fine, but for me, that would in the past have been pretty anxiety inducing, because I saw that my job in my family was to organise things and people and make sure they were all doing it right. But that's a whole other story. But to make sure that everybody had a good time and everybody had a wonderful life and everybody had lovely experiences all the time. I mean, even as I'm saying that, I can feel the exhaustion, because it was exhausting to be on that all the time. So a day like yesterday would have been, right, we have to be up at this time, we've got to arrive at a certain place, we're going to do this for a little bit of time, and then there's going to be something else, then we're going to go to this next place, and then we're going it would have been ridiculously planned to a level of, military precision. I suppose I used to say I would have been very good at doing organising military manoeuvres in the army or something, because I was very, very organised. But the thing was that then the whole thing had a lot of pressure attached to it, because there was definitely something around making sure that people had a good time. So if people didn't have a good time or something, went wrong, the whole thing felt really uncomfortable to me. So yesterday, we had one thing that was definitely happening, and that was that we were picking up my daughter at 9. However, that nearly went awry, which was fine, because we were in our motorhome and we slept in a pub car park, a lovely pub just near Reeton Sands, where Sophie's living at the moment. And we woke up in the morning to find that the guy had locked the gate, which we knew was going to happen. But as it got closer and closer to the time we were supposed to pick Sophie up, the gate didn't open. And so I had to message Sophie and said, well, we seem to be locked in at the pub, and we're not really sure why the gate hasn't opened. Apparently the gate normally opens about 6 o'clock, and we'd not had a problem staying there before. Anyway, but I was fine with that. I was fine with this idea that we might not go at the time at which we were originally going to go. Just messaged Sophie and said we might be a bit late, and it was fine. As it happened, the other campers that were next to us, they decided to leave, and they managed to get the gate open. So we set off on time, and we arrived early, actually, to pick Sophie up. And then the other thing I decided actually, but I only decided that morning, was to go to the North Landing at Flamborough Head, which is a lovely part of the North Yorkshire coast. It's absolutely stunning, and I'm fairly sure I've taken my children there before when they were little, but I hadn't taken my fiancé there, so I thought that'd be a nice place to go. And we arrived, and then the day just unfolded, and it was a joy. We just took some towels down to the beach, and we sat and just watched. Well, we sat still, and I don't know why that's emotional to me. But for me, just sitting still and doing nothing, we were just people watching. We were watching a boat being pushed out off the sand into the sea, and watching puppies playing and dogs pulling stones out of the sea. We were just watching. life passing by, really. We didn't do much. We went for a paddle and we just sat and chatted. And that's just to allow the passing of time, to not be planning anything, to not be doing anything. That to me is just huge, because that used to feel like a really scary place to be, to not have planned, to not have organised, to not have made sure everything was in place and everything was organised. So we just sat on the beach for a while, and then we came back. So we got quite hot and hungry, and we came back to the motorhome. We made some lunch, and then we went for a little walk around the cliff and saw some puffins, which was lovely. They're really nice for Sophie because she's a real animal fan. And then we were quite warm, and it was quite warm, so we opened all the vents in the motorhome. We sat and played games for a little while. I mean, that's another thing to notice, is that I would have struggled with sitting inside on a sunny day. But we have to be outside because it might not be sunny tomorrow. So we must be outside, come hell or high water. Never mind what what else is going on. The fact that we've had too much sun. I've woken up with a bit of a headache this morning, so I probably did have enough sun yesterday. There would have been this panic around the sun going, and therefore us not being there. So we must enjoy the sun where it's present, whether we like it or not, kind of thing. And it was fine. We sat and played some games. Then we went to some early fish and chips, and then we dropped Sophie off, and we found somewhere to sleep last night, which is kind of how we roll in the motorhome. That's probably one of the things that's helped, is just now when we're out and about in the motorhome, we don't really know when we're going to sleep until that night. And so where am I pointing to in this video is planning or presence. We have to plan things. As you know, I've got dates in my diary this week, quite a few of them. I've got appointments today. I've got people to speak to. I turn up on time. I'm pretty good at that kind of thing. I put little alarms on so that I turn up on Zoom at the right moment. I do all of that, and I enjoy, having things booked in my diary. But like the rest of today, I know it's not very business ladylike, but I don't have anything planned in apart from the appointments I have. There might be some things I want to get curious about and think about. Might be a few emails I'll reply to, but there's not much planned in. And that ability to be and let things unfold is, I know I'm crying about it, but maybe I'm just having one of those days. I think it's tears of relief, because it turns out I don't have to plan everything. I don't have to make sure everybody has a good time. I don't have to do all of that. I can just show up and with the people I love or in my business, and I can let that unfold moment by moment. And there is a huge sense of ease around that. There's a huge sense of relief that I don't have to have it all planned up to the hill. It's been a big thing to let go of, but now I've let go of it. It's easier. Life feels like I'm held, and like what's going to unfold is going to unfold, and it's all going to be okay. And also to realize that in this place of flow, you can look back on something and just go, wow, that just unfolded nicely. And in the moment, you can just enjoy it, rather than thinking ahead all the time about what you're going to do and how you're going to make it happen and how everybody's going to have a good time and all of that thing. We don't have to do that. We have this real-time responsive intelligence that as life unfolds, it will just allow us to unfold into it. And there is a lot of peace, a lot of peace to be had in this place of presence, because that is truly where we work properly as human beings, where we work at our best. It's like when we're working in the future, we are working with some kind of software that is not appropriate to the present moment. I often say to people, it's like trying to run Windows 2052 on my Windows 2022 computer. Just doesn't work so well. And I'm not saying don't put dates in your diary, and I'm not saying don't plan. I'm just encouraging you to get curious about what's available in the present moment when life is just unfolding. Because it's probably a lot more than you realise. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.